E aí galera, beleza? Quem tá falando que é o Fizz, tô trazendo aqui pra vocês mais uma stream. Dessa vez o jogo da SK contra FNATIC. Tô junto com o Mutt aqui.
E aí galera, beleza?
Vamos lá, MD3 pra ver quem passa pra semifinal. Para as semifinais. Quem ganhar aqui pega a Cloud9, né?
Cloud9 passou a phase da Porsche de 2-0, nave de 2-0 na Quantum e Cloud9 de 2-0 na G2. Tudo foi 2-0.
Todos foi 2-0.
Por que hoje não 2-0 pra SK, né?
É, galera. Primeiro mapa aqui, Inferno.
E mais tarde vai ter a semifinal.
Lá
as duas. E amanhã a final.
Isso. SK tá com o Phelps, o Fer, o Taco,
Olá.
o Cold, o Fallen. E também. E a FNATIC está com o Lecro, Fluxa, JW, Crims e o Golden. Olha o frag do Phelps. Phelps deve ter acordado já dentro do servidor, que ele tá 104/53. Meu amigo. Divulguem a live aí, divulguem o canal pra gente chegar aí a 800 inscritos, estamos perto. Então bora lá, galera. O microfone do narrador, não sei se só agora no arm-up que tá bugado assim, mas eu vou deixar aqui pra vocês ouvirem rapidão, eu vou tirar já. Tá totalmente bugado, então eu não vou deixar o narrador, vocês vão ouvir apenas o jogo hoje.
Mas se vocês quiserem,
se tiver bom o microfone depois que começar a partida, eu deixo aí. E o Mutt, ele dropou uma caixa, né, Mutt? Qual caixa você dropou aí? Fala aí.
Ah, no jogo de ontem da phase da... Dropei no mapa da Nuke. E já tem dois aqui assistindo. NTZ e o Brisado.
E aí, salve aí, galera. Deixa aí o que vocês acham que vai... Quanto vai ser os jogos hoje. O jogo da SK e FNATIC agora.
Quem ganhar vai encarar a...
Cloud9.
Quem encarar vai contra a Cloud9.
Então bora lá, galera. O arm-up aqui, acho que já vai começar. Deixa eu fechar aqui umas coisas. Já é 11h20, 1h20 já, então daqui a pouquinho vai começar, então.
O SK.
Tem um cara retardado, mongol, que é o Grimmer. Com essa risada de nóia cracuda.
De mim.
E tem também o mais inútil, o Dark.
É, né? Que eu sou mesmo eu sou plantador profissional, né?
Aí, galera, vocês podem ver aqui, ó, tem muita pistol pelo mapa. Principalmente ali no meio, ó. Aqui tem mais. Olha aqui, tanto de arma que tem.
O mapa aqui?
Agora tá no inferno. Olha o tanto de arma que tem aqui, galera. Tem AK, tem SG, tem Negev também, M4, tem tudo aqui. Ó, um monte de pistol. Meu amigo.
É o primeiro mapa?
É. Mais pistols.
Olha a base TR.
Vamos ver como tá TR, galera. Meu Deus do céu. TR então.
Vai TR indo pra banana.
Até indo pra banana não tem muita. Saída do TR da caverna ele tem muita.
Ah, no meio ali acho que só tem duas só, né?
Aqui no meio. Mais. Então bora lá. Vamos deixar aqui o narrador controlar a câmera e eu já venho. Aí galera, voltei. Pra quem ainda não sabe, o Fabs está jogando pelo fato que o Boltz ele jogou pela Immortals no último Major e se tornou Legends pela Immortals. E o Phelps está como Legends pela SK. Por esse motivo ele está jogando na SK. Vou dar uma alt-tab aqui rapidinho, galera, pra ver quantas pessoas tem. Tem 3 pessoas assistindo. Divulga a live aí, quem tá assistindo aí. Manda pra galera aí, pra vir assistir o Major com nós aqui. Galera, quem ainda não tá aqui no servidor da VAC, entra aí. O link vai estar aí na descrição. E vai ter aqui também nos comentários. Entrem aí. A live tá em 720p. Isso aí, ó. Tem Instagram, tem o Twitter, tem um grupo no Face, um grupo na Steam. Entra aí. E é nóis. E aí, Mati, esse é o ar meu play que não acaba não. Vou dar desconnect rapidão aqui, galera, eu vou abrir uma cápsula aqui, legal. Vou abrir aqui dos Legends, não sei se eu tenho grana. Tem 4,73, tem grana assim. Comprar aqui, vamos ver se a gente tira um DSK ou algum aí. Porque ontem eu abri e ganhei um foil da SK e um olo da SK também ontem. Então vamos ver se a gente consegue tirar uma da SK de novo. Ou da ELEAGUE, né? Olha. Ó, é holográfico, então vamos ver quanto que vale agora. Stickers. Vamos ver quanto tá valendo agora. R$1,75 o da Big. O da SK tá 4 e pouco, 4,66 o holográfico. Foil tá 15,20. Holográfico aqui. Foil da VP tá R$12. Tem aqui o holográfico da Gambit que tá 2 e pouquinho. Bom, vamos voltar lá pra partida. Interessante que a gente já acertou dois times que pra passar pra... Deixa eu voltar lá de novo que eu não mostrei direito. Aqui, galera, já ganhamos 12 pontos aqui. Se a SK passar, a gente já pega o de prata, Mut. É 50 pontos de prata. E se a gente acertar aqui, a gente ganha já mais 10, então estamos bem tranquilo. O de bronze a gente já pegou. Mas vamos lá, estamos com 41 pontos. Eu acho que o Mut também está com a mesma pontuação que eu. Só o Dark só que está com 3 pontos a menos que a gente.
Já pode voltando aí na live.
Tô carregando aqui já o mapa. Carregou aqui rapidão.
And I'm a vegetable salesman, but today all I have to serve you is fruit. The labor of one of these two teams trying to make it into the...
Bom, vai começar a partida aqui, galera. Então bora lá. Boa sorte aí pra SK ganhar. E é nóis.
You guys? Any FNATIC fans in the crowd? Any SK fans in the crowd? Damn.
Ooh, all right. Well, okay, James. So I had SK on this game.
Começou aí, galera, então vamos cá.
Now I'm not so convinced. I'm with Sean. I think this is going to go FNATIC's way. Inferno, great start for them. They get to kick things off on the aggressive side. And they're going to go banana. High octane action from the start. Fallen. That's a very nice beginning for him as he falls back to another angle. And JW is going to hesitate here. They want to push this too quickly, letting the grenades do the work before finally starting to try to make their way forwards. But Fur is lurking by the coffins. He needs to get more than just some damage. Needs some frags before the bomb goes down. But there's the reinforcements for SK.
For holding the construction position for the time being, but Flash is looking to fight. Grenades won't do much on this occasion, but the guns will. Phelps taken down eventually, but there's a man advantage for SK. They are very good at these retakes. Cold Zero still creeping up banana for the time being. I don't know if there's a kit on the players who are dead, and there's a third joining them as well. Got to speed this up now, Taco and Cold. They need to find these eliminations. FNATIC playing the long game. We've got a grenade here for Taco, but surely he can't have a 10-second defuse. This is not realistic. Down he goes. That leaves Cold Zero alone. I don't think this is going to work out for SK. Might be about money now for Cold Zero, keeping these players contained on the site, but a pistol round is FNATIC's.
There it is. Necro gets himself a nice little headshot right in the end. And indeed, the round is secured, as is the money. Money in the bank. And I'm sure we'll get some more money generated by FNATIC here now, as the MAC-10s are surely going to come out. And this is a brilliant start here for FNATIC. We all know how annoying it is to play that CT side without the utility early on. And this was a very straightforward round from FNATIC, and I like that we didn't see anything too elaborate. That said, Fallen's on the scout. This round is not without its dangers here for FNATIC if they're indecisive.
Yeah, I think it might be restarted because FNATIC have not left T-spawn at the moment. So while we have a second, this map veto is really interesting, especially if it gets down to Mirage, because what a lot of people might not realize is that a few teams have actually been running FNATIC strats on Mirage, on the T side. When you see those fast speed splits, you've seen it from Virtus Pro, you've seen it from SK previously as well. Those are FNATIC strats. So I'm really curious to see if they have a counter if we get down to that third map. But for now, Inferno. In the predictions, I did pick FNATIC as well. I wasn't particularly planning to pick against SK in any particular match, but FNATIC are my dark horse for this tournament, and I think that they are yet to show us their peak. Maybe this is the time to do it.
Absolutely, I agree with you. The Mirage factor, I think, with Crims's performance, he is one of the most amazing players on that map, just in the history of that map, and especially now that he's found his form again into this major, I think that could be an explosive finish. I think we're set up for the long haul here, James. I think this is going to go all the way right to the end, and that is a very exciting prospect. But as far as SK goes on Inferno, I think there are a lot of questions to be asked. Again, much like they said on the desk, when Phelps was in the lineup, Inferno was never the go-to of SK.
Yeah, this is a really interesting scenario, especially with FNATIC winning the pistol round on the T side. So there's a comms server issue which is being resolved, and maybe the round is about to be reset. Indeed, it is. We should be back in very shortly indeed. So FNATIC off to a great start. See if they get reset. SK always dangerous, even with Phelps as a stand-in. I mean, he's not quite the coach position, so they're still an extremely dangerous team, but obviously we know they haven't practiced. They've been focusing on the long term with bolts, so it may be a bit put together at short notice, but they are still very intelligent players. So the unpause is here, and we are ready for round number 2.
So the question really here is how FNATIC will approach this round. Again, if they've done their research, maybe they have been able to spot some of the ways that, some of the tendencies of SK when they're in a 4-spy scenario like this on the CT side of Inferno. And it's very dangerous, honestly. There's loads of great applications for utility from the CT side, as well as the CZs, the Scout, in fact, from Fallen, which he's picked up. And we see the smoke onto Phelps as well. So, again, lots of danger. FNATIC, they may want to just take it slow to begin with, make sure that they don't get surprised early on, but I think around the 1 minute mark we'll start to see them really make some moves here, and they've already got top banana, they've got that information. Fallen's working onto some picks, that could have been very scary indeed. Fallen whiffs the shot though, and that will be FNATIC still standing with 5 members, full health, and the map control situation for them is fantastic at the moment.
The T side for SK is going to be really interesting as well. I know on Overpass he said that some of the rounds they lost were his fault from the calling. So I think a lot of things might be being done on the fly for SK. So there's lots of opportunity here for FNATIC. But first they need to finish off this round. We reached the 1 minute mark. There are no smokes down for the CT side. Taka will trade with Deagle Shot, pick up the Scout once again, but they haven't had much success tagging players. SK still with 2 players towards the B bomb side. But FNATIC are holding in the middle position for the time being. Not quite sure what is going on. Now, Crimsy's put a smoke on the balcony. Often a T side will use that to burst into the A side. But Taco has eyes on A. He knows nothing's going on. So SK will at least have 2 of their 3 players here towards B.
And one of the issues is, if there is a CT smoke, it's going to be hard for the players on B to really combine. If Colzer is pushed down, you won't be able to flash himself through. They don't really have the utility. Will he go through that smoke? Well, the one flash that was thrown is effective, and that's Fur with the first frag. FNATIC need to find their way in more successfully here. Fur is just making noise around the smoke. They're going for the desperation plant. There's no time. Does the bomb go down? It's not down just yet. It's up to Crims, but Taco comes in. Great effort from him. 3 kills in this round with the help of Fur as well, and that is a shocking wake up for FNATIC.
Yeah, that was painful. That was painful for FNATIC. What's really interesting, actually, when you saw that slidey cam on Banana, I noticed that there was still a Mac 10 down on the car position, which might suggest to the T side that SK haven't tried to get aggressive towards Banana, and probably reinforces the thought that most of the plays are towards the A site, which was really curious. And here we are, FNATIC. I feel like they were architects of their own downfall in that round, but it's only round number 2, so there is more than enough time to right the ship. FNATIC will be on the 4 spy as well. Deagles, CZs. They have the pressure, though, to flash themselves into aggressive angles and try and engage. At this point in the round, though, still very early on, there's just 1 flashbang and 4 smoke grenades. We may see some kind of wall execute from FNATIC. Could be B, could be A. Perhaps the latter is more likely.
And just setting everything up at the moment. This is a good way to go about a round like this. Just run a set piece, see what the response is from SK. If you can explode together with these grenades, it can be very, very potent if you find some good timings and get those entry frags. Cold, though, will be delivering a nice defense to kick things off. Does get traded out in the end, but it is a very prolonged affair, and the rotation can start to come in. FNATIC have been quite slow about this. That's only going to give more chances here to SK. Phelps, though, he can't quite find the play as the smoke disappears, and that's going to give a big advantage now to FNATIC, who have a 4 versus 3. Still more smokes. But Taco's positioning, very good. Gap in the smoke to work with as they start to push him. Flashes in, slowing them down. Taco, unbelievable shot there. Now he hit that one, and he gets more with that AK. Out comes the Deagle, down to 2 health. Crim's the last man standing. Fur goes down around Taco. He can't get it done. It's up to Crims now.
15 seconds. He's got to pick up the bomb, and Fallen has the angle on it. So Crims says, oh, Crims. Ever dependable Crims. That is a massive round from him. He gets the 5k, the ace from the bald man. Full cue ball in that round.
We talk about Crims in this tournament and kicking it off with a crazy ace in a round where you're trying to force by yourself to reset a team that just want a reset run against you. That is phenomenal, and that's going to lift the team and their spirits immensely. We know FNATIC to be a confidence team. That is their identity, the no-respect style of play, and this only serves to reinforce that as we move forwards here. And SK, it's the battle of the 4 spies. Who will be the first to win a consecutive round? That is the question. And right now, FNATIC are poised to do so. Have they learned from their previous mistakes, though, James?
Double grenades up banana. FNATIC being careful. Golden and Flusher slowly making their way up. Nice to start slow on a round such as this, especially on Inferno. You've got those classic pop flashes around this roof right here. And you do want to try and avoid those timings from the CTs if they choose to do that early. At this point, Fallen has the 2 flashbangs, and he is towards the bomb site, but Fur doesn't have a forward position, so could be used to buy time. We'll have to wait and see. FNATIC throw 1 smoke grenade just to ask questions. Again, if there's any more grenades, any plays SK have in mind towards B, they're just trying to bait them out. Plenty of smokes and the like left in the hole for FNATIC at this point.
Definitely is going to be pretty difficult to defend against this. Again, the utility edge, if you can find good timings, it works out really nicely. And there's only 2 counter flashes to be used for SK, and that's on Fallen. He is actually in position, so he can throw the flashes towards Paul for his teammates to actually jump through. And with the boost on Cold, this could actually be dangerous from SK. FNATIC must be decisive in their push, and Flusher starts it off well, as will JW, but Cold on the boost there, holding his position, gets 2 from there. That's pretty outrageous stuff, and more for Fallen perhaps, but he is shut down. Very good stuff there from Crim, saving his teammates. Could have been dangerous, but the danger has been averted for the time being. And Taco, well, he is far away. We can't expect too much from him in this position. No utility as well, just a Deagle and some Kevlar.
Yeah, he might choose to save that Kevlar. However, if only he knew how tagged these players were. Never mind, his face has been ripped off. Really interesting that coldzera, if you look at the duel between coldzera and Lekro, when coldzera gets the first kill, the Lekro expects him to jump off immediately, as most players do. So Lekro starts spraying the smoke, expecting him to rotate into construction, but coldzera stays up and then gets the kill as Lekro strafes out. So the mind games between the 2 players there working out for a second for SK, making it expensive, but FNATIC get that consecutive round, and that puts SK on the USPs.
And I'm really excited to see how well Crims is already playing, and we've built him up so much already.
My name's Dan, I'm really exciting.
I'm really exciting. Now, FNATIC don't have to worry about anything too much, just those 2 P250s, no utility or Kevlars or anything like that. So it's going to be really nice for them. A moment to breathe, perhaps. A moment of relief. So Golden can start to edge his way in towards B to clear things out. There has been time, as we can see, for rotation. But again, the firepower is so lacking for SK. It's going to be very hard for them to get damage, and that'd be great. A couple kills here for SK would, I think, be mission accomplished. And there's 1 from Fur. That's nice. Some information here for FNATIC as well. And they'll start to go back here for the bomb and make the call as a team. And if they move as numbers anywhere on the map, they'll be fine.
Yeah. 4 versus 3, perhaps it's time to move together into a site. They're going to choose A on this occasion. They have 1 Molotov on Lekro, which is maybe going to have an important part to play if he gets it towards the pit position. Pit, I mean, you want to stop that crossfire. Now he knows somebody's there, but he's only facing a USP, so he doesn't really need to fear. Just facing this direction and throwing it. Smart stuff from him. Phelps has picked up the MAC-10. He makes his way towards the library, so he's in that CQC area, got those close quarters, and might get some bonus money going into the next round. There isn't really the cash for an AWP. I mean, maybe Taco could buy one and have no Kevlar. So if Phelps can pick up a kill here, or even two, that would be a great bonus. No Kevlar on Phelps though, so not going to be an easy task, and they won't engage. They know Phelps is unlikely to keep the hold of this MAC-10 for the next round, so they can leave him to it. Or maybe not, Lecro with other ideas.
I'm really excited to see how Banana is going to work out between these two teams. I mean, this is going to be the first round where I doubt SK will go too aggressive on Banana because they simply don't have the money to have all the incendiaries, which is what you need as a CT side to take Banana properly. Whereas, conversely, FNATIC obviously have all of the money for all of the utility, so they can really hammer Banana early, and there's not too much SK can do about it. Or they could just play it a bit slower, and again, I think SK will play it passively. So, map control this round should go the way of FNATIC if they decide to play it slowly. We're going to see the initial Molotov there to prevent any aggressive plays, and indeed, SK holding to the bomb site, they want to keep hold of their little utility and just play passively to begin with, and that's a scary prospect if you're just going to give map control away to a team like FNATIC. So be interesting to see if SK mitigate this by playing some aggressive moves here, and indeed there's one on Banana in fact, and that's not going to go too well for SK.
The vintage pop flash play, always been here on Inferno on all versions. Doesn't work out though for SK, and again this is I mean, yes, they lost the pistol, we forced back and forth, it's 1-4, but they don't have a good buy on their buy rounds here, and now Phelps is getting picked off as well towards the B bomb site. So that's two plays that taken out towards B. FNATIC though not charging up, still they've got 5 versus 3, and it seems they might go for a pinch with JW making his way through CT. 50 seconds on the clock. He's got time to figure out what's going on here. Currently flanking towards library, but he won't find anybody there either. You can see Cold Zero's position. They know, SK know what is vulnerable. They know they've got no vision of Arch, so they're not exposing themselves to it. Taco is somewhat exposed towards library. And now FNATIC make their way towards the B bomb site. I don't know if JW saw much. Now Fallen has been spotted. Now he's got to try and buy time. He's got a flashbang, not much else though. Taken down by JW, and that's an open B bomb site.
Yeah, beautiful play there from FNATIC around the map. SK not in the best of steads here. Some good damage coming from Taco with a fast frag, and that may convince them to maybe hang around and try to do some more damage, but Taco realizes that's probably the best bet, and indeed they will fall back onto what they have. Obviously, at this point, they're starting to march towards quite a loss bonus. It will reach $2,900 for each player on SK Gaming, and as we can see, they have nothing in the bank at the moment, so with these two guns saved,
Look, man, it sucks.
Yeah, it would be nice, honestly, to just see them just wait for everything. So they'll have to go for a half buy around these rifles, and then the following round, all the utility AWPs come out. That's what we want to see here from SK. I think they need to treat their economy with respect, James.
For those of you on Go TV or Game Commands, once Fallen has an AWP, he is going to be absolutely crucial to his team, so he's definitely one to watch. For the FNATIC side, I think Flusher, and I want to say Lecro actually, I still think because he's not such a household name, he doesn't get as much attention as he necessarily deserves, so those would be my 3 picks for GoTV on Inferno. Let's see how they do. 5-1, and SK are going to buy around what they have, so still no sniper rifle, Fallen instead on the UMP.
And again, we see the grenades of Banana trying to take control of this. And here are the counter grenades from the CTs finally, that they can afford them. And this is why it's important. You can see that SK's setup to actually push the Ts out of Banana has been quite effective. But again, FNATIC, they don't want to give this position up. And SK go for the pop flash. This is a very good start for FNATIC. SK's play not working out. Now Fallen to hold on to this position. Can try to steal the gun with that smoke, but he doesn't want to get pushed at the same time. So that is the sort of tightrope he's walking at the moment. Very hard to play this position. Fallen does manage to safely pick up the M4 behind the cover of smoke and dart back. But this does now mean that SK are 2 to a bomb site. And not only that, they have almost no utility left, and there's a minute left on the clock. This really helps FNATIC massively.
Taco really trying to fight to keep control of top mid, but FNATIC may feel like they finally got it with the smoke down towards Arch. Will Taco continue to harass from behind the smoke, just sitting in the corner spot for the time being? Is there a pop flash for JW? Perhaps there is once the smoke disappears, but which way will he look? It's going to be hard to flash Taco from his position. JW slowly creeping, there it is. Taco, does he see the players towards a short position? We've got Cold Zero on the high ground, using his teammate for fake. Golden moves in, gets taken down, the spray, it's good from Cold Zero. And Taco's there to finish things off. Great teamwork by the two players. That was a 2 versus 4 at least, and they made it work.
Yeah, really, really big round there, especially from Taco hiding in the corner there into the cubby spot. You kind of don't expect to play that position without some kind of a bait setup from another player. And also the fact that they pushed Banana at the same time to guarantee information, to guarantee fast rotation, and they expected Lecro, who was waiting, he was lurking, waiting for that Banana push, and they just annihilated him in the 2v1. So just clean stuff from SK. When their back is against the wall, they never show any doubt. And we see it there again. JW, though, on the AWP. This should be interesting. And this is an important round for FNATIC if they want to keep the momentum. This is a must-win now because both teams are really lacking on the money. And look at FNATIC. They just don't want to give up Banana. And I think this is a great call. SK much more defensive this time around. But how long will that last for?
It's been a struggle for SK so far, but I think it was really interesting Taco's refusal to give up top mid, especially when they've got a man down. They need to have something. They need to keep something, and I think that really caught FNATIC off guard. But it just shows you the presence of mind from SK. How are we going to win this round? Risks must be taken. FNATIC giving their opponent a lot of respect, but slowly creeping in. And I think FNATIC's T side does look exploitable for SK, but first they must stabilize. JW going for the quick shot, but can't catch Fallen just yet. Holding a grenade now, just waiting to delay, holding the smoke at the 40-second mark. So FNATIC could have some serious problems here unless they get something done fast. And there it is, third taken down. I think JW spotted Fallen trying to trade. Now there's nobody on the site. Gambles must be taken again. Fallen, somehow he's still got B. How is he doing this?
Yeah, straight through the smoke there, back into position, crossfire set up, Phelps is in, and now they may be concerned with him as well. Which way do they look? FNATIC in a terrible, terrible position. Phelps is in there though. Can JW save the day with the orb? The spray is phenomenal there from Fallen, as is the plays in general, leaving Crims to the clutch. 1 versus 2 already with a frag in the bag, and now 2 players coming in from Banana. This is tough for Crims. How does he read this position? Taco and Cold will be the ones to make their way up, and all they have is 3 flashbangs in each other to try to do this, to shut down the monster that is Crims, already with an ace clutch. Crims waiting patiently, and here they come around the corner, the spray! Can he get the second? Out comes the pistol, but it's Cold's round as he gets the defuse comfortably. 3 rounds now for SK to the 5 of FNATIC, but the damage they sustained was immense.
That is a knife edge round for SK though, the way it went down. 2 players charging through the smoke. The timing ended up perfect for SK in both those pushes. A frustrating round for FNATIC, but there's big potential for FNATIC in this round. Only 1 player surviving for SK. They have to spend all of their money, and FNATIC are back on the buy. Some good grenades, thanks to that bomb plant as well. Not everybody has the grenades, but I mean, SK, they have to win this round. Cold Zero is going to be on an AWP as well as Fallen, so SK have the toys now, but they must prevail in this round.
Back on Crims here as he takes apartments for FNATIC. And of course, he has assistance as well from Mr. Lecro, of course. Just map control plays, FNATIC feeling out the presence of SK, who are taking a more passive setup. Obviously, we can see that the double orbs are out, and that does change how they want to play the round quite dramatically. Very cool angle here, bait setup, Cold in the cubby. Has Fur around him to play off of with that FAMAS. And Fur can come in for assistance as soon as Cold shoots a shot. I've been liking some of the baits we've been seeing from both teams around the AWPs, but now it is Cold's turn. We've all seen what he's capable of as FNATIC look to burst top mid and take it away from SK, but they'll surely have something to say about that. Both teams very tentative here.
Yeah, but it's SK ultimately in control. There are 40 seconds left, and FNATIC don't really have any massively significant map control, so this is going to be a gamble. The late smokes from a T side will force the CT side, and there are 2 on Yarch position. Phelps only good for the 1 kill. 35 seconds left. The bomb has not been spotted by SK, but they're comfortable with 3 people in the A sides at the moment. Still control of the pit, still people in the site with that crossfire, still control of Arch. 25 seconds, and FNATIC are now edging up. They are running out of time. They haven't killed enough people. They don't have enough map control. But that might just be it. Cold Zero still though, holding down the Arch position. He can rotate to help out first. Serve the first kill. No one checking the box. 13 seconds for the bomb to go down. 2-on-2.
He makes the play straight for the smoke. There's one, but Lecro trades. Now it's down to Fallen, the in-game leader, the AWPer. But Lecro, he's going to take another position here. He's going to keep the gamble game up here for Fallen. He's got to figure out where he's going to deduce. He can't check everything. Well, he guessed correctly, trying to eliminate the possibility because he turns the corner. The AWP comes out, but it's too slow. Lecro's in. Another round for FNATIC, and that's absolutely going to destroy the economy of SK. Wow.
He knew he was tagged. He knew he was tagged. He had the USP out, but there were so many places to check. The site, graveyard, pit, short, everywhere. And he couldn't do it. So problems now for SK, and they are going for the force buy. And I'm not surprised, to be honest, because the way the FNATIC rounds have been going, I think maybe because of the anti-force buy round, I feel like that they might be showing their opponent too much respect for taking so long to take control of that top mid area. And you could argue if they even take control of it. Taco just charging through the apartments. Can't quite get the gun ready though for Lecro.
That's a pretty awesome play, actually. That changes the way FNATIC will take the round quite dramatically. When you've got 5 players, you can sort of sack one player for information, but as soon as you lose that player, everybody has to come together. You have to use those 4 players, just take a bomb site. And that's when you're going to be strongest, when you're playing the post plant against the pistols, and they have to move out of position. And it's going to be B here for FNATIC. And Fallen's in a good position, can't get anything with the spray. Same for Fur as well. So the B-bomb site's been taken, the bomb will be planted, and the chances are dashed for SK, at least in this round. Phelps and Cold Zero can try to maybe get some cheeky exits, but that's really all they can really hope for.
I'm a fan of both of these teams, but these rounds make me really nervous watching it from FNATIC's point of view. I'm just like, I just see disaster around every corner. But we're getting towards the end of the first half, and that might be a relief for the Swedes. 7-3 will soon be the score. There is a way back into this for SK, but it's going to be long and painful. Cold Zero gets shot in the face by Lecro. 13 kills. Definitely one of the ones to watch here for FNATIC on Inferno. Crim's up there as well, as per usual. It's been a good tournament for him so far. We'll see if it continues beyond this series. Phelps looking for anything. Scavenging mode for SK, as they don't have the money to buy in the next round.
So this could end up being a very big half for FNATIC. They've been winning a lot of these very important swing rounds. We saw the battle of the force buys to open up the half, and that was something that went the way of FNATIC ultimately. And again, just Crim's really stepped up in some of the moments when he was really desperately, sorely needed. And Lecro now, as you say, on the board, doing a great amount of damage. Just USPs, stock pistols for SK Gaming. We can't expect too much from that, again, from their perspective. Just getting some damage in. I mean, the best case scenario really is if you can potentially steal an AK into the next round, but Flusher and Golden, they're operating here with UMPs, and so this allows FNATIC to use those players to be the entry fraggers, to get the information, and also to drop the nukes, the ICBMs, onto Fallen in this instance.
Love a good ICBM. These rounds looking better for FNATIC, but of course there's less for them to fight with. So tentative from FNATIC. They never know what SK might have in mind when the TC is going to start to pop out. Some good reads there by SK, and it's a little bit messy, but they are in control. FNATIC, just about. Cold Zero and Fur remain around the construction position. He's winning a duel with a UMP with a USP. Some trivia: the UMP is a literal upgrade to the MP5 that people love from the older Counter-Strike. So when people say, "Oh, we want the MP5," this is the upgraded version, quite literally. Fur now trying to make some desperately needed bonus money. It's like he's on a game show. It's a bonus round, but he has failed. Got all the questions wrong. 8-3 for FNATIC.
Yeah, this scoreline is actually getting a little bit out of hand. SK are surely sweating a bit here. I mean, looking at the entire series as a whole from map to map, SK, of course, as noted, will be incredibly confident on Overpass, but the Mirage is going to be quite an interesting question, especially with FNATIC playing as well as they are. Necro, JW, Crims, all the big names from that team really stepping up. Flush is always going to deliver as well. And so now SK have to find some magic in this round because they don't have an AWP. They're sorely lacking utility. And FNATIC are moving very quickly up mid. Oh, that's an incredible shot. What an opening there from JW. And he might not be done just yet. Spots the drop into pit. He can call that for his teammates as they start to pressure fast onto the wrap, onto the A sites.
The bomb around the arch position rotating away, which might be important because Fallen is creeping. Flusher waiting for rotation. The bomb's being dropped by Taco in the pit. There goes Fallen pushing for the smoke. Taco still holding down his pit position, but Fur is still on Banana. I don't think they've seen the bomb, so they're not quite sure what's going on. He's slowly creeping, and that puts massive pressure on the shoulders of Taco. But FNATIC, they don't know where Fur is either, so everything slows down, and this might be advantage SK. But again, because they haven't seen the bomb, they don't know where all the information is. Fur's going to second mid. This is a really weird situation for both teams, and there's plenty of time on the clock. Fur continues to close the distance, maybe making his way into apartments. JW's in the apps, he's got 12 HP. You see Fur there, he's going to come knocking on them doors. And that might change everything for SK. They need this round so badly. Fur just around the corner now. JW, I think the scope's been heard. And down he goes. No bomb spotted though. And Flutter can't win that duel. Don't know how he lost that one, but there we go. SK back in the mix.
Yeah, they needed magic and they've somehow found it. SK, it's not over just yet in this half. They can still make it very, very competitive, but that is fantastic from JW. That's the power of having a very strong AWP. And trying to make that play at such a fast pace is very, very difficult, and there's a lot of pressure on JW to be able to land that shot. If he misses it, then you can't overwhelm the CT setup and really get the round going, and you may have to go into just top mid, then re-establish map control. It could really change the round a lot, but he, of course, hit the shot, although they did end up losing the round. And SK in a more comfortable position, but no nades on Fallen, but he does have the AWP in this round. As we see again, a fast pace from FNATIC, taking map control, and feeling that SK aren't really aggressive on Banana. They're actually sending just one-man Flusher to work Banana by himself. He's gotten information, and now all FNATIC are left to do is to take top middle, and once they do that, they can then make the call. What do they like more? A or will it be B?
That flash force Flusher all the way to the tree position. Ooh, Lecro taking some risks. FNATIC looking to get aggressive now, but it's not working out for them. Three-man push from SK towards Banana, and Flusher gets taken out. More pop flashes. Attack, the best form of defense for SK at the moment, but they haven't seen the bomb. First been left alone towards Banana position, while the rotation slowly comes in from SK. There goes Crims, leaving JW alone. Come back for SK. Now it's FNATIC who are running low on the money, and it looks very unlikely that JW gets a plant in this round. So it may be Eco Town for the sweeps. The boys in black and yellow. 4 plays surviving for SK. Fallen still on the sniper rifle. Very important stuff. Oh! That is okay. Absolutely disgusting.
All right, Fallen's here. He's in town. That's great to see from Fallen, and what a confidence booster to win a round like that for SK. Got 2 in a row. They're starting to, eat away at FNATIC. Their money's broken. They have to go for a half pint, and right now SK are making it very realistic to pick up 7 rounds in a half that looks horrible after the first 10 rounds or so for them.
How about that smoke, eh? I think a lot of teams are going to be stealing that one. Whatever ideas SK had in mind, they've been denied. But this is interesting because it kind of gives them a lot more grenades than they otherwise would have. But they might not know how best to use them since their expected map control has already been taken away. Top mid has been a struggle for FNATIC, and that struggle will continue even with that smoke grenade because they've only got pistols. No flashbangs. How do they make a play up short, for example, expecting a player in pit with only pistols?
It's very tough indeed. One flashbang could just go so far to breaking one of these positions. A flash through the smoke here onto Phelps with the multiple players, for example, could be pretty awesome. But again, just they lack any amount of utility at this point. Just as James said, that smoke was it. Now they have to rely on just hitting their shots. They do have some excellent pistol players. And LeCro's on that deagle. LeCro has done disgusting things in the past with it. But it'd be something quite special indeed to somehow break this defense of SK. They're looking quite strong at the moment, just holding very safe passive setups. Taco spots the first one. He's been having a great game here towards the pit position, anchoring very well. Cold is down. LeCro, what did I tell you? Deagle, mastermind is LeCro, and he's back at it again with 3. And that could be the difference. That could be the round, but still, there's Fur, there's Fallen, and they're quick to the retake here.
I don't think they are. Fur's moving away. This is not a round you're supposed to win. What is the science behind LeCro and this bloody deagle? Absolutely ridiculous stuff. He's stolen a round from SK. Monstrous performance from LeCro, delivering on the big stage. We've seen so many highlights from him when he was on Godsent, losing rounds but getting nice shots, and now he's able to do it at the major with a FNATIC team that go from strength to strength. 9-5 coming your way soon.
It's one of the reasons why I really like LeCro onto the FNATIC lineup, into that sort of old identity, the no respect identity, the team that could just make anything happen with very, very little. And as you say on Godsent, it felt like there was always at least one round a match where he would do an incredible deagle clutch in a moment such as this. Brilliant second shot, but the third one as well. Just patient, calm, precision. LeCro is an assassin,
Do you know
James.
what that was, Dan? Do you know what that was?
What was that?
Nice.
It was indeed.
Down to the last round. SK buying around what they saved. A FAMAS, a UMP, and there'll be an M4 for Fur. They've got good grenades, so they can continue that aggressive line that they've been taking of late. Of course, the further it goes on, the more FNATIC will expect it. But they won't be shy of aggression themselves. Flusher moving up. The lurker towards Banana. Strong half from FNATIC so far. Can they finish in double figures?
It's definitely looking like it's a distinct possibility with some of these plays, but there is the AWP on Cold. Got some good utility here, SK. They're playing it fairly slow. They've mixed up the setup slightly. 2 men on Arch. That does offer fast rotations towards B and also helps to protect against wraps on the A bomb site. But the problem is that they are weak on quad, if that was to be attacked. But FNATIC are liking Banana at the moment. They've yet to really move into top mid. And FNATIC, if they want to keep SK honest here, they do need to try to push them out of top mid. But they are looking like they just want to go for potentially an explosion here onto this B bomb site. That could be quite surprising. And there it is, with the very fast nades running straight in. Are SK ready for this? The UMP does some good damage, but now it's down to Fur and the rotation from CT.
That smoke on the site is a problem, and Fur sees everything. Leaving Golden 1 versus 3. Nice shot from him. Looking for the trade bagger. Golden has to move fast before the rotation comes in from Taco, making his way up Banana. Big damage from Golden, but at some point he's got to reload. 12 bullets left in his magazine. So he may move to new box just so he knows he has some cover to get that reload in. Behind he goes. He's just going to continue with these 12 bullets in the hole. So 12 seconds. He's got a running out of time. Can't find the angle on Fur. It will be round number 6 for SK. So the game stays close. Could have been better. Could have been worse. And that's Cold's mother. Shout out to Cold's mum. Make some noise for Cold's mum. Cold, the best eyebrows in Counter-Strike, undefeated.
And right now we're seeing SK grinding it out because there are so many situations there which just really do not play into their favor, lacking utility, lacking players, great picks, fast rounds, high pressure from FNATIC, a FNATIC that looks in form individually as well as a team, and they're not making many mistakes at the moment. Their fundamentals are looking pretty good, but at the same time SK was still able to get 6 rounds out of this half, where again their money was just not ideal. So that just tells you a lot. SK always there to grind out rounds, always there to deliver, always there with their experience in these high pressure scenarios. And this game is very far from over, but SK would really like a pistol round victory here. It's always nice to see the pistol round split between the two teams, but what do they have in the playbook against FNATIC?
Cold Zero and Fallen Grenade Men. No P250s for the SK side. Golden, a smoke, and a defuse kit. So let's see how it works out. Grim starting on Speedway. Maybe some confusion. Oh no, he's just going to be playing behind the statue, it seems. JW having a quick look up top mid, not seeing much of anything. So FNATIC don't really have an early indication as to what SK might have in mind. Moving slowly up Banana are the T side. for keeping the players honest as he makes his way into the apartments. And Phelps may be, Taco is joining him as well. So SK now bunching up. Are we going to see a burst out of the apartments?
That would be very scary, James. The Glocks closing the distance so quickly, that's going to require FNATIC to hit their first shots. That can be very, very difficult. When teams explode out of the balcony, you really need somebody on that balcony. Otherwise, the T's start to spill into the pit position. It gets very scary very quickly. Smoking off Arch, preventing any pick opportunities as they move quickly through the quad position into the A site. They have to deal with JW. He's looking to try to make a play, but the flash blinds him, forces him into a corner. He can't support Lecro. JW needs something for FNATIC, only gets the one. Will that be enough, though? There is 3 teammates left alive here for FNATIC as SK plant the bomb, though.
Rotation from FNATIC. They're a man down, and Crims is checking for any flanking players. But what is the play? Is he going to make his way up towards the short position? He might, but it's looking really bad for FNATIC in this pistol round. 2 players left. You can see Crims there making his way up short. And now he's the last man standing. Last man to fall. SK win the pistol. We just got a real match.
And now we're going to see some really interesting Counter-Strike, I think. FNATIC are a team that, again, on the CT, one of the reasons why they're so fun to watch is because Swedish players, they love aggression games. They love to play aggressively, regardless of what's going on, so we can always expect to see interesting rounds from them. And, of course, in this force fight situation, they may actually even decide to play it passively. They do have a couple of smokes, so they could use those to really mess with SK Gaming. SK have actually picked up 4 Mag-10s. This is awesome. I wonder if they've stolen this round from Vega Squadron because Vega had a really nice banana rush with 4 Mag-10s.
Well, Envy used to do this as well on banana. Envy love themselves some Mag-10s. One issue is against the force buy that, especially with the UMP nerf, you don't really have the greatest of guns to deal with any longer range duels. Like if somebody's at the back of the B bomb site, those Mag-10s are not going to be reliable, which is why it might be nice to have a Galil to burst with. We'll see if the UMP does the job, should it be required. But FNATIC, for the time being, are actually closer than they otherwise might be. And it seems we might have the wall of smokes in the front of the site, but what will they do with this? Again, these are ironically almost FNATIC straps from previous... Oh, okay, not a wall, just one. Just isolating the coffin position, perhaps. Looking for some information, but not committing. However, JW's coming in from the back.
Oh, yeah, FNATIC have set up really well. If the defense can somehow hold, they only have a flashbang left on Necro. Crims gets himself one more. Another player offered up to Crims. 2 from the CZ. Has to reload. That's enough from Crims. But flush at JW. Lecro still left alive in the 3 versus 2 as JW runs quickly up. Oh my god, Fur is in so much trouble. That is so Fur. The jumping SMG. And now he's the last man left against 2 on 8 health. This looked impossible for Fur. And a bullet to the back of the head. Good night, Fur, says Flusher, as FNATIC steal away what was otherwise a well-put-together round from SK.
Lecro with the bait at the end there. Fires one shot from the Deagle, then starts to rotate towards the site. Has all the attention of the last man standing. And then Flusher does the job. Just a bit of attention to detail there from FNATIC. The worst has happened for SK. This was supposed to be 9-9. You see Crims is well up for this one. 10-7 now, and it's SK's turn to force. Fur has an AK-47 and no helmet. And what we did in notes as well was there was a very late grenade, or 2 from FNATIC, that did massive damage to at least 2 players in that push from SK. So FNATIC have got themselves some force buys as well.
Yeah, it's never really ends, does it? The pressure's always there. The aggression is always there. And I love it. This is some awesome Counter-Strike we're seeing here so far in Boston. And looks like SK want to get Arch position under control, and JW will have to fall back. He'll have to give it up, but he has the information. He drops the grenades. He will stop any push into CT spawn. So FNATIC will give up some of the site here, but they're allowing that to happen. They just have to get the kills. And
what is that?
That's a pretty good start from Lecro as Crims starts to work his way forwards. Sure, they have the bomb down, but they are getting annihilated against the retake efforts of the Swedish players from FNATIC. Just Fur left in the 1v3.
SK getting drilled like it's home improvement, and Fur doesn't want to give them an AK-47. He knows he can't win this round. He'll have to hold on to what he has, and he can still be dangerous in the next one. FNATIC move to 11 If you are just joining us, this is the first map of a best of 3 between these two teams for the last semi-final spot in this tournament.
And I think this result, imagine if FNATIC were the victors here. This would mean so much for them. Just, it's been so long since these players were back into their full dominance and able to make deep runs at majors. And they've been humbled. They've been working tirelessly for at least a year and a half. Loads of Swedish shuffles, but finally they've refound their identity. One of the tasks that they had recently to overcome was transferring the online performance into the LAN performance, into the stage performance, and they've really made that work. And I don't think we've seen FNATIC be this comfortable in a very long time, and right now they are in a commanding position. Ooh, this is interesting from SK, James. They don't want to let up on the pressure.
Yeah, coldzera, I mean, first saved the AK from the previous round, but coldzera is picking up full armor and an MP7. I feel like SK, I don't know if that was... Like, has he pressed auto buy? I'm wondering. Okay, yeah, he has pressed auto buy, because that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
I was going to say, yeah.
Everybody calm down. Nothing crazy has happened. I don't know though why pros even have auto buys bound. Why don't they just remove it from their config?
I know it toasts you to no end.
I don't have any auto buys, but I don't have any F keys either. So there we go. So there'll be a quick round restore to fix that. SK in the round following this, assuming they lose this one, will have a good buy, and then it's really game time for the SK side, because FNATIC will be pretty close to taking the first map. And that would be a great confidence boost for them as well. They probably don't even need it, but against SK, a very big name in Counter-Strike at the moment. Even with Phelps in, arguably one of the favorites for the tournament, I think.
Yeah, and that's one thing as well, you know, despite it being a standard, Phelps did play with lineup for a very long time, so it is and he's also like a very high level, very, very good professional, so it's very different to, let's say, the situation with Liquid and Zeus and so on. But back into the action, 11 to FNATIC on the CT side, 7 to SK as it currently stands, and SK indeed actually going for a full buy here. This is really interesting. FNATIC will not be expecting a full buy. They're going to play to the surprise a bit. As soon as FNATIC see all the grenades, they're going to figure out, hang on, SK have actually invested fully here. So SK investing on Banana, but so far still held on by FNATIC as they wait for the push. And SK really look like they're committed for this. Golden is going to have to be very careful. The UMP of Golden is pretty useless in that scenario. Flusher with a frag on the fall, able to fall back, able to re-smoke, able to control the flow of SK players here. And they're going to have to reconsider their approach to this round. They have no map control.
SK, worst case scenario, must plant the bomb in this round. This is a massive gamble for Spy. And even if that smoke didn't go down, FNATIC already had a third person towards the B bomb site, so I think it may have been a slaughter unless the AK got popping. 2 AKs, UMP. You see Crims making his way to the high ground. I'm sure he will be expected. Still smokes and flashes for SK. They brought a lot of utility into this round. Now they're offering more suggestions. This time it is the full investment. Flush running distraction. Crims getting a kill, and there's one for Flusher as well. The numbers dwindling for SK. Phelps, he's on fire. He's failed a jump. It might spread. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. He'll survive for the time being. He still has a smoke grenade. He can re-smoke CT. It is a risk though. He doesn't know if anybody's close. Waits for third to hold the angle. The construction one disappearing. You see Flusher just trying to distract the players as the third man rotates Lecro now in CT spawn as the bomb goes down.
It's looking very scary indeed right now. Finally, it does indeed go down. We have Fur who's covering, but it's so fine right now. He has to watch his back. There is a moment, a window of opportunity for FNATIC, and Flusher might just find it. Turns the corner. The refrag does come in from Fur, but that's his position known. Tries to take the 1v1, but Lecro is going to take that. And FNATIC win the retake. And as you say, James, SK, they did a lot of damage. They needed the plant. They'll get it. But I do wonder what would have happened if Phelps had not missed a jump, because he had the bomb too, so that meant that his effort to plant came a lot later, and that was then construction was controlled by the CTs, and it gave a lot more space to them, where otherwise he may have been able to actually push into a different position. It could have changed everything.
Did I just see a self-bump? I respect that. When you're proud of yourself, why not just fist bump yourself? So, I mean, I was going to say, like, I mean, look at the buy from SK. This is, I don't know, this is disastrous territory. I think if they ecoed the last round and bought here, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to be in this situation. But now they've got triple Galil, Taco and a Deagle.